Hey guys, so today's video is going to be something a little bit different. Today I'm going to be talking all about Sephora Gratis, and if you have no idea what I'm talking about at all, just hang tight. I'm going to answer all of your questions in a couple minutes. But basically, for those of you who don't know, I spent the last 10 months working at Sephora, and throughout the time that I worked there, I always posted pictures of my Gratis hauls. It's a whole thing on Instagram. It's hashtag Sephora Gratis. You can go check it out if you want. But every time I posted them, I would get so many questions about Gratis and how it works and everything like that. So in today's video, I decided to answer all of my most asked questions, and I'm also going to be going over my final Gratis haul from Sephora as well towards the end of the video. So if you're just interested in seeing the haul, I will have like a timestamp here or whatever if you want to skip to that. So jumping into the questions, of course the most asked question I got was, what is Gratis? And the word Gratis, it means either like complimentary, without charge, free, that kind of thing. And in the cosmetic industry, it basically means products that you get for free for working for a company. Pretty much all jobs in cosmetics have some form of gratis. For instance, I used to work at department store beauty counters, and there how it worked is twice a year you'd get to choose a certain dollar amount of product from whatever line you were working for. But at Sephora it works a little bit differently. You don't necessarily get as much choice over what you're receiving, but it's a lot more frequent and you get a lot more product basically. The second question I received the most was, how do you get Gratis working in Sephora? Because there are a few different ways, and the first main one is blanket Gratis or all cast Gratis. So this is basically when a brand would send out a new item to all the Sephora stores and everyone would receive them. It was typically like a new product that was launching, but not all the time. Sometimes they'd like re-promote old products, like Benefit Their Real gets sent out a lot. The second way is brand training. So this is when a brand representative comes into your store to visit and train on new products. Not always, but most of the time the brand rep will bring Gratis, and then you only get that Gratis if you participate in that training. This is where I find most of your Gratis comes from. And the third way is contests, and these contests can either come from individual brands or just as your store in general. Basically, they'll have different contests where for hitting like certain targets or goals you can receive Gratis. You can choose like prize packs and things like that. And then the ones in store were similar. It's for hitting certain targets, and every store is different, but when you get to choose Gratis in your store, the way my store did it is we had big bins in the office that had Gratis in it, so it's not like you could go out and choose like anything in the store. You chose some like certain things in a bin. But yeah, it might work differently at different stores. I'm not 100% sure. The next question was, how much Gratis do you get? And there are a few different things that can influence how much Gratis you get. For instance, if you work part-time compared to full-time, you're gonna get more Gratis. Because like I said, brand trainings are a big way to get Gratis. So if you're there like 5 days of the week, you're obviously gonna be there for more brand trainings and end up getting more Gratis as a result of that. Also, I worked as a skincare consultant, so I would get mostly skincare Gratis, and then if you work in color, you would get mostly makeup Gratis, but you do end up getting kind of a mixture of everything. And the final main question I would always receive was, how often do you get Gratis? And this is something I think that varies store to store. From other girls I've talked to who work for Sephora, I've kind of gathered that a lot of stores sign it out like once a month. And when I say signed out, it's basically when you get to take your Gratis home, because when you get one item, you don't immediately get to take it home. It all accumulates in a bin in the office, and then when they sign it out, they engrave it with your employee number, and then you're allowed to take it home. At my store, getting your Gratis signed out was kind of totally random. It usually happened when your bin was getting full, but sometimes they'd sign out like one individual item, like when we'd all get the new Glam Glow mask, or like when we got the Bare Skin foundation, they signed out that one individual item for all of us. But typically it's when your bin starts getting full enough that it needs to be signed out. But yeah, it sounds like this is something that varies a lot store to store. I've also had a girl tell me that she had to wait till her 3-month probation period was over to get her Gratis signed out for the first time. My store didn't have that particular policy, but it's something that definitely varies based on what store you're working at. So those were all the main questions I always received. If there's anything you're still curious about that I didn't touch on in that, definitely comment down below. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Also, in the down bar, I will have pictures of all my Gratis hauls on Instagram linked, just in case you want to check them out. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the haul. Now this is getting my Gratis signed out twice, once a couple weeks before I left, and then on my final day as well when I got it signed out. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. This is my big bag of Gratis here, and like I said, I have had some of this stuff for a while, so some of this stuff you might have already seen me talk about in videos, but I'm gonna touch on it quickly here. And I'm just gonna dive in and start pulling stuff out. So the first one, I have mentioned this in a video already, and I'm sorry it has hair in it, but it is this Agave Healing Oil paddle brush. I love this. It's a brush that has those little like plastic nubs on the ends, but it doesn't like tug on my hair at all, and it's supposed to have agave oil like infused into the brush, so it makes your hair really nice and smooth and shiny. I love this. Next, I have a few things things from Benefit, and the first one is my Big Easy, something I've also already mentioned. Then I have my Gimme Brow in light medium, and then my Roller Lash. I'm not going to talk about these products too long because I've already mentioned them in videos, and as you guys know, I've been loving them. The next thing I have in my bag is the new cleanser from First Aid Beauty. It is the Milk Oil Conditioning Cleanser. This is kind of like your traditional cold cream cleanser. You're meant to use it on dry skin and then tissue it off instead of rinsing it. I'm not a fan of that idea, so I'll probably just use it like a normal cleansing oil and rinse it off, because you can do that as well. But this removes makeup really well. I'm using up a couple other things before I dive into this, so I haven't actually opened it yet, but I know it does work really well. And then the next couple things I have are from Living Proof, from their new curl line. I have literally the polar opposite of curly hair. This is my natural hair here. There's literally no texture to it at all. But I figured these would be still fun to try out. Like, I'm sure they'll be nice and hydrating. And it is the Curl Defining Styling Cream and Curl Conditioning Wash. Next, I have a couple fragrances. And fragrance gratis is something you don't receive that often. So the fact that I got this first one was really exciting. And it is the Daisy Marc Jacobs. This is the full 100 ml size. I like this fragrance, but it tends to give me a headache. I haven't tried it in a really long time though. And I haven't tried it yet since receiving this, but I know it used to give me a headache, but I'm going to try it out and see because I do really like the fragrance. And then I also got the Elizabeth & James Nirvana Rollerball in the black scent. You guys know I love this perfume. I have the full size and I also have the oil, so I was excited to get this. Next, I have the NARS All Day Weightless Luminous Foundation. If you didn't see my first impressions video of this, I will have it linked in the down bar. And I'm also planning on filming like a kind of conclusive review once I've tried it out for a little bit longer. So when that is up, I'll link that as well. For foundation gratis, you do get to choose your shade, of course. I chose Mont Blanc. I'm wearing it today. It's not perfect, but it's manageable. I don't even know what that means. It's doable. And I forgot, I did have another product from Benefit in here. This is the Professional License to Blot. I haven't tried this out yet, but it's basically, it's like a blotting stick. So instead of blotting sheets, you like dab this on your skin where you get oily, and it's supposed to absorb oil and kind of minimize pores. Or I think you can use it as a primer as well. I haven't tried this out yet because I've been saving most of these things in this bag, and so I wouldn't like lose them or anything before filming this. Next, I have a ton of stuff from Biotherm, and Biotherm was extremely generous. First thing was this Life Plankton Essence. This is like a product, it's kind of like an essence is kind of in between like a toner and a serum. If you're not familiar, they're kind of like a popular thing more in Asia, but this is just meant to kind of overall like improve the appearance of your skin. And then they also sent a little size of this Liquid Glow Skin Best oil. It's just a face oil that's meant to add radiance to your skin. And then also they sent me their 3-piece collection of their Pure-Fect line. So I got a little deluxe size of the cleanser, the full size of the toner, and then also the full size of the moisturizer. Like I said, they were crazy generous. The Pure-Fect line is meant for oily, acne-prone skin, so it has like salicylic acid in it to target breakouts. Once again, I haven't tried this, but I'm excited to use it. Oh my gosh, I keep finding more stuff from Benefit. I also had a little mini They're Real mascara. I'm probably gonna pass this on to my mom because I already have the full size. And then I also got the Bumble BB Hairdresser Invisible Oil Primer. You guys know I love this stuff. I used like half of this already because I took it on my little vacation that I went on, but yeah, this stuff is amazing. And then I have a couple Sephora collection goodies. First one is this new lash curler from them. It's like their XL eyelash curler, and it's basically meant to fit larger, like rounder eyes. Doesn't work for me. It's not the right shape at all because I have really small eyes, but I think this is a really cool addition to their collection if you do have larger eyes and you find most eyelash colors don't work for you. And then I also have a makeup brush. This is the Pro Airbrush Blender number 78. I'll take off the little cover so you guys can see. It's one thing I do like about the Sephora collection. They come with like little plastic covers on them, so if you're traveling with them, that's kind of handy. But this is what the brush looks like. It's a extremely dense, I believe, synthetic, yeah, this is synthetic foundation brush. I haven't tried this out yet, but I've heard really good things. And then I have a few lip products. First one, it's kind of dusty. It is the Marc Jacobs new La Marque lip creams in the shade Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. This is a really pretty nice like rosy mauve kind of color. I wore it in a video a while ago too. I touched briefly on these lipsticks in my last Sephora haul, and basically if you don't know, Marc Jacobs reformulated their entire lip line in February, and it's seriously so much better. Their lipsticks are really similar now to the NARS Audacious lipsticks I find, but they're a lot longer wearing. So I would really recommend checking out their new lipstick line if you haven't already. It's definitely worth it. And then I have a couple little mini lipsticks from Buxom. These came in a little set, and it is in the shade Mistress, which is kind of similar to Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, kind of that rosy mauve kind of color. And then also Hooligan, which is a little bit deeper, more, I don't want to say brown, it's more of like a plummy, deep mauve lipstick. And then the final lip product is the Too Faced Melted Strawberry. I'll swatch all of these for you guys in a second so you can check them out. Okay, so there is Melted Strawberry. It's like a very vibrant strawberry red with like hints of pink to it. There is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang from Marc Jacobs. This was actually Mistress, which I said was kind of similar, but they're actually not at all now that I swatched them. There's Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, there is Hooligan, and then there is Mistress, if you guys were interested. And the last thing I got was a couple kind of high-end skincare minis. The first one is this little tiny tube of the Dior Hydra Life Close Up. It's just like a pore minimizing moisturizer. It's a more mattifying one from Dior's line. And then I got a couple goodies from Caudalie Premier Crew line. This is like their really expensive, like really high-end anti-aging line, so I'll probably pass these on to my mom. I've given her quite a bit of Caudalie skincare over the time I worked at Sephora, and she loves it. I love Caudalie too, but this line probably just isn't the best suited for me. I got the Creme, which is quite like a rich anti-aging cream, helps with like dark spots, anti-aging, loss of resilience, hydration, everything. And then I also got their new serum, which is the Elixir. It's like an oily texture kind of serum. Yeah, like I said, I will probably be passing those on to my mom. And yeah, that is everything that was in my last Gratis hauls. Like I said, if you have any additional questions or if you want to know any more info on any of these products, comment down below and let me know. I will definitely be responding to you guys. Give this video a thumbs up if you love free makeup, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.